There's probably 250 to 258,000 in retail parts in the car to build it to do what it does. My name's Tim Wallin. I'm from Sacramento, California. I've got a 2005 C6 Corvette. We probably built and rebuilt 70% of this car, 70 to 80% of this car in the last 90 days. Ooh, that's a good question. A big misconception with some people that don't know a lot about drifting, think that it's kind of just being out of control and you just want your tires to spin all of the time. And actually, in drifting, we are always tuning and messing with our cars in every aspect so that we can gain traction. I mean, obviously drifting, we are sideways the entire time, but we do need some sort of traction to be able to manipulate the car and put it where we want it to. It's been insane. When we came out here on one tune, it had 14 pounds of boost. We tuned it on E85. It was making 920 rear wheel. When we came out here, we switched fuel to E98 and it hasn't gone back on the dyno, but because of the fuel type and change, my tuner has estimated it's roughly 1100 rear wheel on 14 pounds of boost. At a competitive level like we're doing out here and some of the events that we go to, it's the entire car works together. If one thing isn't right, then your car's not gonna respond the way you need it to, and that will really play out and make a huge difference in competition for a negative way. The weight distribution on these cars is 50-50 right out of the box, which is great. And it's kind of a biased opinion even because there are other chassis that I really like, but because this one already has the LS platform in it, it's got the torque for the right now power, I would go with the Corvette every time. You know, whenever we're practicing or if it's like an exhibition style event, I still treat it as if we are competing. So, you know, tire pressure, Ackerman, all of the suspension, tuning, how much power the car is putting out, the gear ratio, all of those things kind of play hand in hand and go together to be able to make the car do what you need it to do. Now with where I'm at, I get a lot of questions and people asking for help or tips, which is flattering, about how to drive and what to do to make the car do what they want it to do. And really, there's no one way to do anything. So I can't say, oh, you know, if you're going into a big turn, grab the hydro, or flick initiate, then clutch in and grab the hydro to speed scrub. Because as a competitive driver, you're adapting to a new track every time you go somewhere. So you're always driving the car differently and using all of the tools and controls in the car differently to do what you're doing on track. Suspension tuning and suspension settings are completely different, completely opposite from a drag car or even just your standard race, you know, daily driver car. When we're in drifting, we'll toe out so that when we're at full lock, we get more contact patch on the bottom of our tire, and then we'll do negative camber for that same thing as well. So when we're at full lock, your wheels are kind of in like this and towed out. The toe out will give us more angle and help with contact patch, and negative camber will also help with the same thing. In the rear of the car, we'll do toe in because when you get on throttle and the car squats down, your wheels will straighten out and you go. When you let off throttle, the body will pick up, the rear wheels will toe back in, which helps you slow down, helps with traction. We try to set these cars up so we can beat the crap out of them as hard as possible all the time. So, you know, if I have a car, it's got an engine that will support up to 600 horsepower. We might bring it down and leave it around 450 or 500. That way, when you come out here and you're bouncing off the rev limiter, it can take it. When the judges are looking at you, they're scoring on different criteria based off of the layout on the track. So this track, it's all outer zones. So you're burying your rear bumper into the outer zone and getting as close as possible. They don't want to see a bunch of corrections. They want to see you utilize as much angle as possible without making corrections and just going as clean as you can the whole time. I went with the LS platform from kind of rumors and things that I heard, and I started building my career and learning about this platform before I did anything else. It's kind of like Android versus Apple. It's a user thing, right? So, you know, some guys are out here and they might have a 2JZ with a turbo, but that car is going to drive and react completely different than an LS car will. You know, an LS car might make 400 foot-pounds of torque and 400 horsepower, and it's great right off the line. And the 4-cylinder turbo cars and even the 2JZ 6-cylinder turbo cars, it's kind of like having a two-stroke, you know? So when you floor it off the bottom, there's not a whole lot of torque. It might make 700 horsepower, but 400 pound-feet of torque. So it's really driving style and user preference. This is my 6th year in Vegas at LS Fest. I've done Kentucky 3 years, and we're going to Texas next month for the first time. And a lot of the people here are from all over the country, you know, and some guys we've seen come from other countries. And it's just cool to reconnect with all of the people that we see every year. It's kind of like seeing your long lost friends. You know, I feel closer to some of these guys that I've known and I see once or twice a year than people I've known for 10 and 15 years. So it's just a really good atmosphere, and I love this event.